Hello, boys and girls. I'm so glad that you're here to join me for our Bible story today. Our story today comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verses 1 through 16, and it's called The Parable of the Workers in the Vineyard. And Jesus tells us in this parable, he says, the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire workers for his vineyard. And he agreed to pay them a denarius each for the day, and he sent them out to work in his vineyard. And then around 9 in the morning, he went out and he saw others that were standing around in the marketplace doing nothing. And so he told them, "You also go work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." And so they went. And then he went out again about noon and about 3 in the afternoon, and he did the same thing. About 5 in the afternoon, he went out again and found still others standing around. And he asked them, "Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing?" And they said, "Because no one has hired us." And so he said to them, "You also go work in my vineyard." And so when evening came, the landowner came to the vineyard, and he said to his foreman, call all the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last ones that were hired, going to the first." And the workers who were hired about 5 in the afternoon, they came and they each received a denarius. So when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But each one of them also received a denarius. And when they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. "Well, these who were hired last only worked for 1 hour, they said, "and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day." But he answered one of them. He said, "I am not being unfair to you, friend. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the one who was hired last the same as I gave you. Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous?" And so the last will be first, and the first will be last. Now, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed this story. This story we often think about and we talk about when we think of being fair and fairness. But this is truly a story about grace, about God's grace. And God's grace is something that we cannot work for, we cannot earn. It is something that is given to us and given to us all equally. So I hope you enjoyed the activities and the lessons that I have for you in my Sunday school packet as we explore this a little bit more. I hope that you have a very blessed week, and remember, you are very much loved, you are very much missed. Mwah! Bye. See you next time.